assembled rotor with the safety wired. All right, so a couple days later, not as angry, and my back's not as broken, so come out to do a little work on here. By the way, got the clutch adjusted properly, so now I can actually shift gears without any grinding. And there's a definite hang up in the rear brakes. I had to back the car off the lift because I hadn't centered it properly the last time. So moving it, I can see where the brakes have been rubbing a little bit here, but that's normal because it's eventually going to get this black finish off of there and it'll be down to bare metal. But when you come under the car, hopefully oh, there it goes. Now it finally adjusted. Lighting wise, you can see where something has been seriously dragging on the inside. So I don't know that the problem was with the parking brakes or with my mounting job on my rear calipers, but something's not right. And it's like that on both sides. So I got to pull the rear calipers off and pull those rear discs, which are also the parking drum. This portion here is the drum for the parking brake, and then this is the disc for the regular brakes. So I got to pull this all apart, take a look and see what's going on. But one of the three problems that I had when I went to take this for a test drive the other day has been solved. The clutch is working. I haven't even looked at the power steering, and I'm not going to just yet. So I'll see what I can figure out with the brakes. Well, I figured out one of my worrisome noises. If you look in there on that spring, that's for the parking brake shoes. It was slightly dragging the back side of the studs. You can see kind of in between there. They were lightly dragging. I have since, you can hear it just a little bit right there. So I'm gonna have to do it just a little slight reshaping of the place where that spring hooks on. It only drags on one side, or it's only touching on one side. So just a little bend to that will suck that spring in just a little bit tighter to the brake shoe and solve that problem. This problem on the rotors is actually not a problem. They weren't dragging. Once I took a look at it, they're spinning fine. So the reluctance to turn, you can see way in there, my drive shaft is spinning just fine. I think my pinion angle is off when the car has got the weight on the rear suspension. So I'm gonna have to get in here and sort that out. So still troubleshooting. All right, here we are. Turns out it looks like the parking brake was dragging. That was the grinding, screeching noise out of the rear end of the car. So I made some adjustments. I had to modify the adjusters a little bit, shorten them up because they wouldn't go any smaller to reduce the dragging. So we'll see if it works. Test drive part 2. paranoid to go much further than my street time, and I haven't checked that. So far, so good. All right, test drive 2 went pretty well. So test drive 3, you may notice you can't see from that camera angle. The hood's back on, and we're going to go for a little bit longer drive and try and get this thing through a couple of gears and see what we got. Car feels weird because the suspension is so much stiffer than it used to be. So I'm a little paranoid, but it seems to be running okay. Oil pressure's good. Water temperature's really low. Hasn't even started to come up at all yet. If you can see the tach in the video, but I'm cruising along right now, 1800 RPM. It's got some guts. No complaints. Well, all the gears work. Cruising along 60 miles an hour at 1600 RPMs. This should have a nice freeway cruising speed. To say I'm happy is an understatement. Brakes still need to get broken in. brand new pads. They're not bedded. I haven't messed with the proportioning valve. There's lots of sorting out to do. I think the steering wheel's too close to the dash. I'm going to try and find a spacer to raise it up a little bit. I mean, another inch would make it significantly better. But I am happy.